everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing my makeup inventory. I did a makeup inventory in January and it is now August, so it's definitely mid-year-ish that it's time for me to do an inventory update, share with you guys all the products I still have in my collection, how many of each category. So if you love inventory videos, definitely continue watching. Also, if you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe. I do upload 3 times a week, Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so definitely subscribe so you don't miss out. And let's just go ahead and jump right in. First product, I do want to mention I just got done taking some of the pictures. I haven't taken pictures of everything I have in my collection, but after I took picture and brought everything down, let's say foundation, like everything that's displayed, I noticed that I didn't put one foundation that's in my everyday makeup drawer. And then just if you start counting stuff in my pictures, just know that I did count the stuff in my acrylic case. I just forgot to take pictures of everything together. It's just hard to really take pictures of everything, but I have my inventory right here, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first product I have for you guys is primer. This is face primers, hydrating primers, matte primers, blotting. I was gonna say blotting primers. Is there such thing as blotting primers? Any face primers, I had 48 in January and now I have 29. I'm happy that my inventory has gone down. Primers, mascara, liners, setting sprays are something that I was supposed to be on a no buy for this year, and I can definitely tell that primers are going down. There is a few primers that I kind of still want to declutter and I've definitely used up a lot, but definitely happy that my numbers are going down. I think I'll be happy in the 15 range of primers. That's still a lot. It sounds like a lot, but from 48, I think that's really good. Next up, in January, I had 32 foundations and now I have 30 foundations. I know I've decluttered quite a few, so I know I've brought in and taken foundations out of my collection. So right now I'm at 30 foundations. That is definitely a lot, but I think at one point I had like 70 foundations. I just recently decluttered, but I kind of feel like I want to declutter even more. Like I just really want to just keep stuff that I really want in my collection. But again, I started at 32 in January and now I have 30. So next up is concealer, and in the beginning of the year I had 33 concealers and right now I have 27 concealers. So it's good that the number is going down, but 27 concealers is quite a lot. I did just take pictures of concealer and I was just like, who needs this many concealers? No, not me or anybody, but I like options. I know some of these concealers I'm not like a huge fan on, so again, I could probably declutter a few, but I'm happy. Again, most of my numbers have gone down. There's only 2 categories that gone up, which isn't bad from all the categories I do have, but yeah, I have 27 concealers of 33 that I started in January. Next up is powder, and in January I started with 36 powders and now I have 31 powders. So again, I'm glad that my numbers are going down. I think a perfect number for powders would probably be like 10 to 15 powders, but still I'm happy I have 5 less powders from where I started in January. I think ideally maybe even 20 powders, because these are also like pressed foundation powders as well. This is not just like loose powders. This is like under eye powders, foundation powders, loose setting powders. Like all of my powders were in this category here. And I did watch my inventory in January and that's how I remembered what certain categories I had for certain products. So again, 31 powders is a lot. I think I'd rather be between 20 and 25. I'm just happy my numbers are going down, to be honest. Next up, I had 34 bronzers in January and now I have 33. So I know I've decluttered a few, and of course I've brought in some ints because I know I've decluttered more than just one bronzer. I definitely have not used up any bronzers. There's like no way I could finish a bronzer. I think that's still quite a bit of bronzers to have. I probably want, I think 10 to 15 bronzers. It's still a lot, but the size of my collection is not small, so I think normal for my collection would probably be 10 to 15 bronzers. Next up is blush, and for blush in January I had 48 and now I have 48. So that's actually a category that stayed the same. I have a lot of shades of pinky nude blushes. I think that category can probably go down because a lot of these blushes pretty much look the same on the cheeks, but I still have 48 blushes, so we're gonna go with that. Next up is highlight, and in January I was actually really surprised on how much highlight I had, and it was 73 and now I have 56, which is bravo to me because 73 highlighters is a lot, like individual highlights. And now 56 is definitely still a lot, but I'm glad that the numbers have gone down, and I'm a sucker for a good highlight. I think ideally maybe 30 highlights would be fine, but 73 highlighters, that's a lot, huh? Next up, I have brows and brow products, pomades, brow pencils, brow mascaras, brow like cleaning up, what are they called? Those creamy ivory colors that go like right here that I never use. I had 39 in January and now I have 29. So brow products was a category that I was not purchasing because I had a lot in my backup drawer as well. So I have some in my everyday like drawers that I shop my stash, and then I have some in my backup drawer. So again, this is a category that I said I wasn't gonna buy any more of. So I'm glad that I have 10 less products from the beginning of the year. Definitely don't want to have any in my backup drawer, maybe 1 or 2, but honestly I think I have about 10 in my backup drawer, which I don't need 10 brow products in my backup drawer. But I did pick those up, a lot of these brow products up when they were on sale, like buy one get one free, or they were half off during like Ulta 21 Days of Beauty steals. So that is why I have some in my backup drawer waiting for me to use. But again, maybe 1 or 2 in my backup drawer is more ideally for me. Ideally, is that a word? Is more ideal for myself. I don't know. But again, 1 or 2 in my backup drawer. I don't need like 10 eyebrow pencils. Next up is eye primer, and I had 9 eyeshadow primers. I did give a couple to my mom, and then I put one in my freelance kit just to kind of get rid of the ones that I usually shop my stash for. And now I have 7. So 7 is still a lot. I think 2 or 3 would be more ideal to have because eyeshadow primer actually takes quite a bit to use up. I actually have 1 eyeshadow primer in my project pan, so that is almost out, so I'll be able to kind of work on another eyeshadow primer. Definitely not shopping for eyeshadow primers. Ideally again would be 2 to 3 eyeshadow primers. I don't really need any more than that. Eyeshadow palettes, that's exciting. Eyeshadow palettes is something I have the most of, I think. Yeah, the most of. In January, the most I had was actually lipsticks and lip glosses. But right now, the most I have is eyeshadow palettes. In January, I had 130 eyeshadow palettes, which I was actually surprised how many I have. I thought I had more, to be honest. But 130 was where I started at in January, and right now I have 135 eyeshadow palettes. So this is a category that did go up. I was looking through my collection and there is a few that I would declutter. I never decluttered any eyeshadow palettes before I filmed this video. I did declutter a lot of the other products categories in my collection, but eyeshadow palettes I never got to. I feel like there isn't that many eyeshadow palettes I would actually declutter. I'd probably only really declutter about 5 to 10 palettes, so I think I would still be in the same ballpark as I was in January, but again, 135 eyeshadow palettes is a lot. I think it'd be more ideal to have under 100 palettes. That's still a lot, I know, but eyeshadow palettes is my weakness. I just like keep buying eyeshadow palettes. Next up is eyeliners, and these include my like pencil liners and also my Suva potted eyeliners that activate with water. In January, I started with 60 liners. I was just like 60, and then when I counted, I'm still at 60. I'm like, I know I've used up quite a like 2 or 3 eyeliners, so I'm not really sure how I have 60 liners still, and that's a lot because I have 10 of the Suva Beauty liners, which to think of it like, wow, that's 10 liners that I didn't really, I knew I had, but I didn't know. You know, like when you actually, you know your collection is big, but when you see it laid out when you're taking pictures, it's kind of like, wow, this is a lot. I have about 10 black liners, which I only really need like 2 or 3. Felt tips, I think there's about 10 as well. Everything else is like colorful liners, and I really like colorful liners, and it's not like I have 5 yellows, 5 greens, 5 blues, you know, like I have, I think maybe 2 of certain like every color maybe. But yeah, I still have 60 eyeliners. That's a lot of eyeliners. I definitely need to slow down my eyeliner purchasing. Next up, I have mascara, and this was also a category that I was like, I'm not gonna buy any mascara this year until I get rid of what's in my backup drawer. Mascaras is something that you kind of have to replace quite often, and I have found that some of my mascaras that were in backup drawers were kind of dried out, so they didn't last the full 3 months that they're supposed to last. I started with 16 mascaras in January, and now I only have 7, so I'm pretty close to cutting this in half. I have 3 in my drawer where I shop my stash. I have 2 that I'm working on in my everyday makeup drawer, and then I only have 2 in my backup drawer, which is awesome because 2, again, like 1 or 2 of something is okay to be in the backup drawer. Once I have more than even 5, it's kind of like, okay, you don't need this many backups, you know, you don't go through makeup that fast. So yeah, I have 7 mascaras from 16 from January, so that is awesome. Next up is sprays, setting sprays, facial sprays, any spray products that I apply to my face. I had 32 in January, and now I have 30. Facial sprays is actually another category that I wasn't going to buy, but I know I have purchased a couple setting sprays that I can think on the top of my head, which I'm almost out of one. I did purchase like the Glow Recipe Watermelon Mist, which is actually really nice. I really enjoy the mist, and it smells really, really nice. Then I also did pick up a Cover FX like duo, like a full size and a little mini from Marshall. Even though I knew that I was on a no buy for facial sprays, which I kind of regret buying the Cover FX ones because the sprayer doesn't, it's not like a nice spray. It kind of, it sprays like really direct, like, I don't know, I feel like it's too intense. But yeah, I have 30 sprays, which I'm still gonna be on a no buy for the rest of the year. So I have some that I open, and then a lot of, like half of them are in the backup drawer. So maybe I'll get rid of some more because honestly, I don't need 30 setting sprays. So yeah, we'll see. Next up, I had correctors. I had 6 correctors, and now I have 7 correctors. These are like dark circle correctors. I have an extra one because I actually put one of my actual concealers as a corrector because the shade didn't work for me to conceal. So the shade was more, it was better for me as a corrector, so that's why I moved it from a concealer to a corrector. So that's why I have 7 instead of the 6 that I started off the year, but ideally 2, maybe 3 correctors, but I don't need 7 correctors. Next up is lipsticks, lip glosses. I didn't separate any of my lipsticks or glosses. I just put them all in one category. These are also the lipstick bullets as well, are all in the same category. I started off in January with 171 lip products or lipsticks slash lip glosses. And now I'm at 129, which that is awesome that I got rid of so many. Again, this is another category I'm thinking I want to declare more of. I have about 40 everyday nude, pinky nude lipsticks, which I don't really need that many. I don't need that many of anything, to be honest, but I feel like I can declutter more lipsticks to try to get rid of it now that they're still good to be used or passed on. For lip liners, in January I had 17, and I still have 17. I haven't gotten rid of any, and I haven't brought any in. I'm kind of bad at applying lip liner. Sometimes I do if I apply a dark lipstick and I do see that it's patchy, I do apply a lip liner, but a lot of the time I don't wear lip liners, so I feel like I could cut this category by a lot. I could probably just keep like 5 lip liners, to be honest, like just pretty much the dark ones, and maybe like a darker nude as well. Sometimes a gloss is all I'm wearing. Like today I did try to apply like a berry liquid lipstick, and then I was looking at myself and I'm like, I look like a little kid playing with makeup. Like, so I took it off and I still have like kind of like the staining of the lipstick, so I just applied some gloss over it. But sometimes when I want to just apply gloss, I feel like it's not enough. I feel like I do need the darker nude lipstick before applying the gloss. But again, 17 in January, 17 now, I'm still the same. Face palettes is something I noticed I don't reach for, but I do buy them for some reason. I think I like the fact that I have everything in one spot, but honestly, I don't really reach for my face palettes, except when I travel is when I reach for them, but I don't travel very often, especially right now during COVID, but before, it's not like I traveled every month or anything. So I started off the year with 58 face palettes, and now I'm at 46. I feel like I could definitely cut it in half, just again because I don't reach for face palettes. I like to buy them, but I don't use them. So yeah, I kind of want to get rid of more maybe, or stop buying face palettes because I'm realizing I just don't use them. Next up is liquid glitter, like the glitter Stila glitters, the Pixie glitters. I have some Urban Decay ones. Those ones I started off the year with 29, and right now I have 19. So again, I've gotten rid of 10. I know I've decluttered like the Touch in Soul little minis that I had, because one side was like a liquid shadow and the other side had just kind of like glitter, loose glitter or flakes. And I decluttered those just because that one side it was separated and it didn't look nice. I know I used up a couple of the Stila glitters as well. I put them in project pans and then they dried out. So I know I finished a few, but I did declutter more than what I used up. Next up is single shadows in pots. My potted like MAC shadows and also the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. I don't count the single shadows like that are in magnetic palettes. Those ones will be counted towards the eyeshadow palette category. I'm just talking about single shadows. Select one and it's just one potted shadow, you know what I mean? So I had 25 and now I have 24. It's like half MAC singles and half ColourPop singles. I don't reach for single shadows. I don't know why I still have them, or why I don't think I've bought any single shadows in a while. But yeah, I have 24 still. Pigments and also like my Lorena flakes. I started with 30 and now I have 31. I'm not really sure how I have more pigments or flakes because again, this is another category I don't really reach for pigments, so I'm not sure why I have more. I may have miscounted in the beginning of the year, or I may have miscounted now. So yeah, I guess I have 31 pigments / Lorena flakes. Lip balms, I started with 8 and I still have 8. I know I've used up a few and brought in a few from Octoly, or if I've purchased them myself. 8 lip balms. I'm gonna use them up eventually, but maybe I should not buy in and then just have like maybe 2 or 3, and then once I use one up then replace it, so I only have like 3 max because I don't really need 8, you know? And then lastly, the P. Louise / gel liners. I had 9 in January and right now I have 8. I know I've decluttered a few, as in one product difference. So yeah, I had 9 and now I have 8. Gel liners is another category I don't really reach for. I prefer a felt tip. I do like the P. Louise bases, so those are nice. I do apply those in my waterline and I have used them to cut my crease as well. Those are nice. I do enjoy those, but I don't think I'll pick up any gel liners like in pots. Again, I prefer just liquid eyeliners. Alright, so that is my inventory for August 2020. What do you guys think of my numbers? Yes, it's a lot of products. My collection is not small. If you guys watch my Shop My Stash videos, you kind of see how big my collection is. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with most of my numbers that most of them are going down. 60 eyeliners though, I don't need 60 eyeliners. We're gonna try to condense this, so hopefully the numbers that are now aren't more in January. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please also subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!